Hello? How many of you see this every day at work? Someone answering their phone, the cell phone has a tune to it, or this. Someone walking around texting when they should be working. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about creating a cell phone policy for your workplace. There are three main topics that I will be covering today. One is problems with cell phones in the workplace, how to create a cell phone policy, and three, how to enforce your cell phone policy. In our society today, most people communicate via cell phone. Cell phones are used to answer emails, check emails, surf the internet, play video games, watch videos, almost anything. They're like computers on our hips. But when it comes to cell phones in the workplace, there are problems. The Forbes magazine states that 39% of employees waste at least 1 hour a week on non-work related activities. 29% of employees waste 1 to 2 hours a week on non-related work activities. And 21% waste 2 to 5 hours a week on non-related activities, work activities. So you ask, what are they doing? Well, most of them are, 52% of employees are on social media, on Facebook to be exact, and 11% of them are on Instagram. How about that? Alarming, huh? Not really, because most people, when they're bored, they'll go on their social media site and update their status or whatever they may watch videos. That's just what people do. But when it comes to in the workplace, there should be a policy put in place with rules and guidelines when it's appropriate to do these things. And the reason why is because in the workplace, productivity is now being lost because people are focusing more on their cell phones. Their work performance is low because they're more focused on texting and answering the phone and updating their status when they should be working. And it can be very disruptive to your employees around you who are trying to work, and it can be legally damaging behavior too. So the way that we can solve this problem is by coming up with a policy. Now, there are some companies who have totally banned cell phones from the workplace, but some of them are like factories where there's constant production and they don't want any interruptions. A company called R.R. Donnelley tried to do it, who is a financial services company. They tried to ban cell phones, but they found that it was kind of hard to do because people have emergencies and they need their call to go right to them. And sometimes there can be a problem. So they had to go from banning cell phones to creating a policy with cell phone restrictions, which I will outline. So to create a policy, you need to gather your IT department, your human resources, management, and your legal department to help create this cell phone policy because you want everyone's ideas because everyone sees differently from each other what people need from their cell phones and when they need them. And then you need to discuss and review when employees need to have cell phone access. Should it be only during lunch and breaks? Can they answer their phone during emergencies? Can they text? And then you want to write these rules in a personable way so that people don't feel offended, that they feel like they're not being picked on, and that they'll want to obey the rules. So these are the ways that you should go about creating a cell phone workplace policy. And then once you've done that, then you should have certain basic phone etiquette, according to Inc. magazine, that people should just automatically follow. One is keeping your phone on vibrate, no tunes. Two, no phone use during meetings. Either you leave your phone at your desk or you turn it completely off during business meetings. Three, calls should go to voicemail. And then you can go and step out and check your voicemail. And then you should maintain a low tone if you do have to step out or if you have to answer your phone at your desk. You should talk in a low tone not to disturb your employees. And then there's some other additional rules that you may want to add to your policy, like only having cell phones being used in break room, or only on breaks, or maybe only outdoors. Make provisions for emergency calls, because no one ever knows if an emergency is going to happen. And if they're at their desk, maybe if they see they're getting an emergency call, that they step out the room, or you have a room set up just for cell phones. And will you allow Bluetooth headsets? Most people don't like them because, I mean, you see people walking around with the headsets on and they're talking, and sometimes you don't know if they're talking to you or if they're talking to their friends. And so a lot of times you may not want to have Bluetooth headsets be acceptable in the workplace. And then once you have your rules and restrictions in place, then you want to enforce the cell phone policy. You want to post it in areas where employees can see it, in break rooms, in the hallways, maybe on the restroom doors. So no one can be like, oh, I didn't see it. Oh, yeah, you did. You can have training sessions that demonstrate and outline exactly what kind of behavior is acceptable and explicitly explain the disciplinary action. This is very important because some people will say, oh, I didn't know that I could get wrote up. If you're going to allow that maybe 3 strikes and then you're wrote up, or warnings. So this should all be in your policy. And then once the policy has been wrote up and designed, then you should have each employee sign and date it and give them a copy, and you keep a copy for HR. So everyone knows what the cell phone policy is, what the rules are, and they can't say, oh, I didn't know this or that because you had to sign it. So in conclusion, cell phones aren't going away. So in the workplace, restrictions need to be set up so that employees will not disrupt or cause business and productivity to be lost, and keep the business thriving, because when people are just doing what they want, that's not good for business and it gives the business a bad reputation. So I hope that you have enjoyed this cell phone policy demonstration, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Thank you.